Today is the 21st regular meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, please bless our meeting today. May our discussions be fruitful, our decisions wise, and our community strong. Amen.
Amen.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hamercheck.
Here.
Commissioner Regovich.
Here.
Commissioner Pletchny.
Present. Next on our agenda is public comment. Any member of the public who'd like to address the Lake County Board of Commissioners, please approach the mic. You have 3 minutes after stating your name and address. I'm aware that our Clerk of Courts is with us and she will be kicking off public portion.
Good morning, Commissioners and members of the public, people who are here. I just wanted to, and I know I'm going to jump ahead in the agenda here because this is not going to be approved until later on in the agenda, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fourth installment of the COPS grant. In my ongoing commitment to enhancing the safety and security of the citizens of Lake County, I'm pleased to announce the funding of the fourth and final installment of the COPS grant program. With this fourth installment, I've provided $2.6 million in funding to pay for additional sheriff patrols, particularly in the townships. With the additional funding of Phase 2 for the gun range, it's been $2.9 million for law enforcement over the course of 3.5 years. The hard work and dedication of my title staff make it possible to provide certificate of title surplus funds for this and many other essential programs that benefit the people of Lake County. As I stated 3.5 years ago when we kicked this thing off, when I made the first transfer of surplus funds, safe communities are a crucial component to maintaining a high quality of life and a robust economic development opportunities. Commissioner Hamercheck approached me in 2021 about funding for the COPS grant, and there was no hesitation. It has been a privilege to be part of this collaborative effort with the commissioners and the sheriff of Lake County. This program directly benefits the residents of Lake County in a very positive way without burdening the taxpayer. The COPS grant program is a testament to what can be achieved through collaborative public service and fiscal responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public portion? Mr. Massey, it's Jeopardy rules. You got there first.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive, average citizen on behalf of Lobbyists for Citizens. I noticed on the agenda today there is a resolution for the appointment of Mr. Charles Zibel to the Lake Tran Board. If my memory serves me correct, he voted against reducing the 0.25% sales tax, thereby supporting Lake Tran accumulating massive amounts of money to the detriment of Lake County citizens. That being the case, Lobbyists for Citizens would not support the appointment of Mr. Zibel to the board. The Lake County Budget Commission had a meeting at Auburn Career Center last week. Lobbyists for Citizens recorded the event for the citizens of Lake County, and we have multiple problems with the Budget Commission's approach in solving the complex problem of the alternate formula for the distribution of local government funds. Number one, since the Budget Commission formed the ad hoc committee, it is our opinion that that committee is a public body. But the citizens were not invited to those committee meetings. The Budget Commission allowed only public officials to speak at the meeting held at Auburn. The public was shut out from really petitioning a redress of their grievances against the whole alternate formula and the Budget Commission. The commissioners, as I understand it, according to what I heard at the Auburn meeting, have already given their approval for the revised alternate formula. when was a public meeting held to discuss and approve the formula? I must have missed it. One last thing, I just let the citizens and the commissioners know that my Christian brother and I, Leonard Gilbert, went down to the State House yesterday, spoke before the Joint Committee on Property Tax Review and Reform, and complimented Representative Troy for his efforts on behalf of the Lake County residents, and we expressed our views to the committee on how people are being priced out of their homes because of these ever-increasing property taxes. So if you're interested, we have posted it on Lobbyists for Citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Reginald Black, 200 West Jackson Street. I'm here today to offer a special prayer on behalf of the citizens of Lake County and the state of Ohio. As we all know, summer will be starting in less than a month, and I just pray that we're all prepared, attentive, and aware that our citizens will be taking part in active water sports and swimming and things like that, and I just pray for safety within our communities. I want to thank again our commissioners for doing their part with this county, and I just ask that we all bond together and keep our eyes open and our ears open to the needs of our residents. Thank you.
Amen. Anyone else?
Gilda Spencer, 5580 Ford Road, Madison. Good morning. I'm smiling. The county engineer was on the Hill this morning. They finally started. Heaven and earth have moved. So I just wanted to pass that along. I guess the culvert, whatever you want to call it, isn't coming till the middle of June, maybe in July, but they're able to do some more work to get ready to move that in. So thank you. The other concern I have is, right now we're still without a lot of protection. And there was a fire in Thompson the other night where it took down their utility lines. And the lady who is not the fire chief, but one of the assistants, was on her way home from work, so she was there. The problem was, Thompson's all volunteer. They're looking for somebody else to help them full time. It took them 40 minutes to get to her house, and she lives by the drag strip because they're volunteers. So if that's who we have to rely on to get to us, we're in big trouble over there. So, but thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive. Thank you, Commissioner Plechnik. I got two things. I'll make them quick. I was at my township meeting yesterday, and the Center Park Estates. This has been going on since 2006, the flooding over there. I've lived in Painesville Township almost my entire life, and so I know the area very well. And I've lived at that location since '79, so I've seen a lot. So, but anyhow, beside the point, that flooding is still there. I know it's got a very complicated problem and a costly product. But just like I told Dan Troy, Bob Awfuldish, and Ray Sines back in 2006 about the flooding, it was that far from coming in my door. And I was told at the meeting, it's once in a lifetime, 100-year rain. So the next meeting, I says, it's flooded 4 times in the last month. I guess that 100-year rain is gone. So the thing about it is, it still floods. Like already this year, it's flooded 4 times. And we have a lot of seniors that live there in that area. So all I'm asking is, I talked to the township yesterday, they may be asking for some help from the county. And just remember this, we get a lot of water from the fairgrounds. I see it. The water, you know where the maintenance building is there. It's flooded from the maintenance building, Dave over there. the thing about it is, the water comes all from down there into this ditch that can't handle the water that we get from Cherry Hill and all this other stuff. And it's just getting worse and worse. So all I'm asking you is that if they come to you, please consider it. It's got to start before it can finish. And there's 2 phases right now, phase 1 and then there's phase 2. And phase 1's, I think, a little. And it's just remember that rehab center is flooding all the time over there, So the thing about it, when something comes, please consider getting it started. Okay, it's been 18 years, and it floods every year at least 4 or 5 times. And lastly, most important thing I want to talk to, as we all know, Monday's a holiday. Just remember this. Some gave some gave all. Memorial Day is for the men and women who gave all to our country. Remember that. Yeah, sure, it's a day off, but remember why we are doing it, to honor the men and women that have died for this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Bishop?
Gerard Mabel, 1049 Brentwood Drive, Pennsville, Ohio. Lake County is home to so many thriving and diverse events throughout the year, and we hope to see many of you out enjoying these events, from the Lake County Captain's Home Opener in April to the Lake County Fair in July to the Lake Metro Parks Farm Park Country Lights at the end of the year. There's an event for everyone in our beautiful Lake County. Please place this magnet on your refrigerator, at home, or hang it up at work so you don't miss out on the great events in our Lake County communities throughout the year. We encourage you to not only experience the events in your own community, but also in your surrounding communities. There are too many events in Lake County to list all of them here. For a continually updated list of events, check out Tour Lake County Interactive events page at tourlakecounty.com. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Chris Weiss, Leroy Township. My number is 440-494-2683. I want to thank those of you in the public, especially those of you from out of state, places like New York City, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., for the information that you're sending me. Keep sending me the documentation that you can find. And if you don't have that, send me the breadcrumbs and I'll follow the trail. Getting back to what I spoke of 2 weeks ago, Boss Plechnik reprimanded for ethics violation. Want to add to that, from the 8-page document from the Ohio Ethics Commission, the findings were, on November 8th, Commission received a letter from the Lake County prosecutor stating as a result of public records requests from Channel 3 News, Plechnik was found to have used county facilities, equipment, and supplies to access Cleveland State University College of Law website and other things. The Commission found the facts support a violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 102.03D of the Ethics Law. You stated that you didn't seek legal advice about using county resources in this manner in advance of teaching the class because it never occurred to you that it would be an issue. However, on October 20th, 2022, you sought legal advice from the prosecutor. Back in July 22nd of 2022, the Tribune published the article about you bragging about getting an A in ethics, having taken a course. So another thing that you have here, I refer to the City of Willoughby Hills, ordinance number 2017-64 as amended, adopted on 12/20/2017. Curiously, your name appears as Vice President of City Council, Boss Plechnik. This is signed by Nancy Fellows and Mayor Weger. Effectively, this is a hit piece that you were the instigator of against one Gloria Majeski. It says, City Council is made aware of alleged use of municipal property by city officials and others without proper authorization and without remuneration to the city, which actions may have conferred a benefit on private parties at the expense of the city in violation of Ohio law. Whereas the council also aware of allegations that one or more municipal employees may have been campaigning for public office during periods of time when they were being compensated by and supposed to be doing work for the city in violation of Ohio law. This is from 2017, 5 years before you broke the law in teaching law school classes from your county office. Did you forget about this? Is it possible you were sleeping at these city council meetings when this was adopted? Because many residents of Willoughby Hills tell me you're the guy behind this. This is a serial thing with you, attacking your political opponents, and you use the exact same laws that you were later found
Thank you, Mr.
unethical
Weiss.
by. Okay, so what's the story?
Thank you,
You
Mr.
forgot
Weiss.
about it? Tune in next week.
Anyone else for public portion? Anyone else? Hearing none, we will proceed to resolutions.
In the engineer's office, resolution to advertise for bids for the County Line Road, County Road 141, reconstruction project Phase 2, Madison Township, Ohio, OPWC number to be determined, LCE project number 2024-002, bid opening June 12, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash in Lake County Department of Utilities Water and Sewer Funds for 2024 debt payments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving plans, specifications, and estimates of cost in the amount of $625,000 for Dodd Hill Wastewater Treatment Plant and Chimney Ridge Pump Station Facilities Improvements, project number 456S 2021, and advertising for bids for the same. Bid opening June 26, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving plans, specifications, and estimates of cost in the amount of $1,240,600 for Lakeshore Boulevard Waterline Replacement, Euclid Line to East 288th Street, project number 448W 2021, and advertising for bids for the same. Bid opening July 3rd, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving plans, specifications, and estimates of cost in the amount of $1,662,200 for Vine Street Waterline Replacement Phase 3 project number 467W 2023, and advertising for bids for the same. Bid opening June 26, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid water and sewer sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution declaring an emergency and authorizing execution of a contract with Service Master on behalf of the Lake County Department of Buildings and Grounds for water damage at the Lake County Probate Courthouse in an amount not to exceed $195,701.17.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Did you want Jason to give some background?
Mr. Boyd?
Sure. Yeah, earlier this spring, Commissioners, we had a water leak in the probate court, Judge Bartolotta's court. I believe it was on a Sunday. Our guys and gals went in to do what they could at that point in time, relocated some of Judge Bartolotta's staff, started immediately cleaning, etc. Ultimately brought in a company to do a deep clean, start the insurance process, quite frankly. The resolution in front of you, after going back and forth and working with the insurance, is the contract amount to go in and do the actual reconstruction, remediation, etc. in Judge Bartolotta's court. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechner.
Yes.
Resolution reappointing Charles Zibble to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a term ending May 15, 2027.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Commissioner?
I do have a couple of calls in to check. One of the concerns could be a potential conflict of interest that I just recently only became aware of. I did not know, and Chuck may not even realize this, that being on the Lake Tran board and being on the Friends of Lake Tran could be a bit of a challenge. I went on their Friends of Lake Tran website. I did see their golf outing promo of Chuck down as the treasurer, and then down in the sponsors, I did see Chuck as a board vice president, being one of the supporters. So there is some concern. Also, the next one coming up for Joseph Glavin. I did talk with Joe last night. His relationship with the city of Mentor, AWT, Lakeland Community College, all direct customers of Lake Tran. One of the thoughts would be just see if there's any on-point decisions by the Ethics Commission, or perhaps ask the Ethics Commission if this is an issue for either or both. So I would suggest maybe might want to pump the brakes and maybe table these two. I don't believe there's an immediate need at Lake Tran right now for these appointments. In an abundance of caution, though, just walk this through carefully. Just an ask, just a suggestion, but if you'd be open to that, I would suggest that we table these until we can get some guidance as to the appropriateness of these two appointments.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Commissioner?
I don't know if legal's aware of being on Friends of Lake Tran, which is their board to get money to go out for when they advertise for levy renewals and things like that. Is that an uncommon practice to not have a board member that participate in that? I know that I would imagine the Lake Tran director would be part of that too. So I think it happens at Lake Metro Parks and things like that.
I've not researched that issue at all, Commissioner.
Okay.
There was inquiry made with regard to Mr. Glavin. I saw no issues there, quite frankly. I don't know anything about the situation that's arisen today with Mr. Zibble.
Any further discussion?
Mr. President, I'd say with Mr. Glavin, I did put it in front of Dave. He didn't see any conflict. I know there's a few other people that were interested who put it through their legal for where they work, and they had to bow out because of potential conflict. I know Mr. Glavin works for the Lakeland Community College and the Mentor City Schools. I don't know where the conflict would be if something were to come up on a board where they can't just recuse themselves from that vote, whether it be a contract or something to that effect. I think I know there's been employees of the county that have worked for, or they've been on the board in the past.
So with respect to Mr. Zibble, if I'm not mistaken, this is a reappointment, not an appointment. So if and to the extent there was a conflict, it already exists.
And to that point, sir, I did review his application. I did not see Friends of Lake Tran present there, and he did indicate the only board that he was actively involved with was the Lake Tran board. So it was much to my surprise when I saw the activities of Friends of Lake Tran. So he may not, again, the best of us can make mistakes. He may not realize that they're two separate entities, and his reluctance to not want to suspend the collection of the sales tax may also be derived from his activities in getting the sales tax approved. So that there may be some unintentional or not a deep understanding or appreciation of the responsibilities and limitations. And just because or somebody becomes aware of something doesn't mean that it's not a problem. Kind of like speeding. You find yourself going 60 through a 20-mile-per-hour school zone. oh, I didn't realize that. You don't get a pass. You're still speeding. You don't get to hit the accelerator and just keep going on your way. I believe the phrase is slow it down. We have an opportunity to slow it down. Maybe just see if there's something here. I don't think there's an urgent need at Lake Tran, so I just want to get that out there.
So, Mr. Hackman, you're hearing this for the first time. What's your initial reaction, and what research would you have to do to give a final reaction?
Well, I guess I'd have to gather facts and research the law. Simple as that. And as I'm sitting here now listening to the discussion, I'm not quite clear whether or not there's a motion to table. There seems to be a suggestion to table by Commissioner Hammercheck, but I'd have to do legal research.
And what's your off-the-cuff reaction if you have one?
I'd care not to speculate, Commissioner, all due respect. I think that's a tough question, especially for me, to answer sitting here as I am now. With regard to the second resolution, or the appointment of Mr. Glavin, again, I did look into that. There's no issue with that, in my opinion. Also, it should be understood that our office does not represent Lake Tran. They have their own legal counsel.
Yes, but this is a decision that we're making, which is the reason we're posing the question. So we apologize for the last-minute Q&A.
No apologies needed.
And for what it's worth, you are correct. It is just a suggestion because I did not want to shut down discussions. So just wanted to keep the thoughts going. Again, abundance of caution.
So what's the will of the board?
So I believe what's in front of us is their individual resolutions. So someone wants to make a suggestion to table that, then we can vote on that in each one, or move forward as it's written. So,
Well, the chair is open to motions.
are you actively?
I would suggest tabling until we can get some legal clarity as to the appropriateness of the appointment. I wouldn't want to deliberately put somebody in a conflicted position.
In light of Mr. Hackman's looking into Chuck Zibble, I would second the table Chuck Zibble. I think I'm prepared, as we already put through Mr. Hackman, that Mr. Glavin has been vetted as far as we're concerned.
Well, I guess we're still under the suggestion. I would not necessarily characterize your analysis as vetted. And just to be abundantly clear, Joe did indicate he's willing to wait, just in the interest of caution. This was just a conversation that we had. I did talk to legal on this subject just to make sure that because again, I'll be blunt. I've said this to Joe, I'll say it now. Joe's a rising star in our community. I don't want to get any mud on his shoes unnecessarily. And he appreciates that. So that's why I was talking it through, and I indicated that I had not heard back from Mr. Zibble. So I'm just waiting to go through the process. But looking at these resolutions as standalone, that would be my motion to table this until such time as we get some guidance from legal as to the appropriateness. And again, I'm doing that in the interest of not putting somebody in a conflicted position knowingly.
So do we have a motion?
And a second, right?
Yeah, if you want a second, that would be.
On Mr. Zibble?
Not hearing this too well. Is there a motion and is there a second?
That was my intent, yes.
Okay.
So for the record, you want to make the motion?
Yes, sir.
And I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Pletchnik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution appointing Joseph Glavin to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees for a term ending May 15, 2027.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion?
And for the reasons previously stated, I would also make a similar motion to table, giving Joe also the opportunity to get some clear guidance on this, and until we can make sure that everything is clear.
Any further discussion? Mr. Hackman, I would just ask, I don't mean to make you repeat yourself, but is it the case that you've been asked to review the issue of Mr. Glavin, whether or not there's a conflict, and your conclusion is there is not?
That's correct.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Again, to legal. So that's your first impression, that's your final answer. That's, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make light of this. I just want to be abundantly clear that this was just a
I understand.
casual conversation. I wouldn't want to set a stage where somebody then gets in a jackpot. Because even the best people can inadvertently go afoul of the law without realizing it.
Correct.
That puts a tremendous burden, and I don't know that those terms, conditions that would apply have been articulated to Joe as well. So I just want to be real clear on this, that dialoguing back and forth has not occurred.
With respect to Mr. Glavin, that's my opinion, that there would be no conflict in his situation. The other gentleman, I was unaware of the different positions he held, so I really can't speak to that, but I am comfortable with Mr. Glavin's appointment. And
Thanks.
again, I will get back to, I know it's a commissioner's appointment here, but Lake Tran has its own council. Mr. Glavin has the ability to recuse himself from any issues that may come up with Mentor, Lakeland, and the other entity you mentioned.
AWT, yeah. And
So
just
that's
to-
my opinion.
And just to be clear, that could be a potentially daunting activity. It may not be as obvious as boom. Again, I just want to be very clear. People could go afoul of the law and not even realize they did it. Just want to make sure that was part of the discussion. May the record so reflect. That's a hint, by the way, to the staff to record that.
So is there any further discussion? Hearing, yes?
I assume there's no appetite for a tabling motion on this then.
I'm prepared to move forward on the motion. It's
Any further discussion?
Is there a motion to table on this one?
I don't think I'd get a second, so I don't want to muddy things.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
I'm sorting this one out, my apologies. I'm going to abstain.
Commissioner Regovich.
yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
In the
Thank you.
Finance Department, oh, I'm sorry.
I just said thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,337,523.14.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $3,504,302.65.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes. With the conclusion of resolutions, it's time for departmental reports, starting with utilities.
No report today, Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. And our county administrator, Jason Boyd.
I have no report, Commissioner.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
I wanted to mention that county offices will be closed on Monday in observance of Memorial Day, and our next commissioner meeting is Thursday, May 30th at 10 a.m.
And legal.
It's not as much as a report as just I'd like to clarify something that came up during the public comment with regard to Mr. Massey. Mr. Massey, I have tremendous respect for you. I don't for a second doubt your earnestness and sincerity in your mission. But if I heard you correctly, I think I heard you say that the ad hoc committee was formed by the Budget Commission. Mm-hmm. That's, all due respect, not a correct statement. It was not. I don't even know the details of how the ad hoc committee got together, but I can say for certainty the Budget Commission did not appoint this ad hoc committee, for whatever it's worth, and respectfully.
Thank you. Any further report?
No.
And I would just say on behalf of the commissioners, whenever you're able to satisfy yourself in your research in the matter of Mr. Zibel, we'd be grateful for a report back so that we can act on the resolution.
Yep.
So on the quick question to legal on the Budget Commission. So as I recall, mayors and managers picked up the torch. Mayor Morley assembled a number of sample representatives with knowledge and skill sets to be able to talk this through. I don't recall if that was, I don't think that, I don't know if that was at the request of the Budget Commission or not. I don't know if that was just how that came about. Jason, your thoughts, recollections?
I don't recall.
Okay. So I'm just trying to, in my own mind now, get my thoughts around that.
My only point was that there is no official action by the Budget Commission to, quote, create this ad hoc committee.
Got it.
And again, I don't even know how many times they met, where they met, what they discussed. I just wanted to correct what I thought was an honest misstatement.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Thank you. So any old business to come before the commission? Any old business?
I guess I'd like to follow up on Clerk Forts Andrews, the COPS grant. I think it's fair to say that the history and the background on that, our friend Trustee Chuck Hillier was obviously one of the strongest advocates of looking for assistance. And neither he nor I could find anything, be it state or federal. So we did model the traditional COPS grant. Again, giving credit where credit's due, Faith Andrews did indeed take up that torch without hesitation. And I think it's also fair to say when Perry Township and Cogburn Township withdrew from the contracts, they'd asked this body if we could let them out of the contract in order to preserve those deputies' tremendous assets and allow the sheriff to continue to provide the high quality services that they do. Faith Andrews did continue funding that side of things in light of those contracts. So it did evolve, and I believe it's fair to say, though, that she was very responsive and also equally receptive to continuing the funding and being supportive of law enforcement here in Lake County. So I just wanted to get that into the discussion.
Thank you. Any further old business? Hearing none, time for new business. And Commissioner Hamercheck, I believe you mentioned that Minister Lee was here for some new
Yes.
business.
Yeah, nobody can say it better. Come on up, if you and your colleague. They've got some exciting news here. It's a wonderful thing taking place here in Lake County. Thank you, Mr. President.
Most welcome, Mr. Commissioner. Minister Lee.
Morning. Have with me Alicia from Concord Village, our administrator, and I'll just kind of let her talk.
Well, thank you for allowing us to come speak today. We just wanted to let you know we've Concord Village. Chris and I are representing over 120 employees and contract employees at Concord Village. We opened in 2016, and last year we made the decision to try to achieve Joint Commission accreditation. This is a voluntary process where we try to achieve higher levels of safety and patient quality. So last month we were notified that we received this, so we want to share the good news with you.
Thank you.
And that's, the significance of that is, how many are accredited in this area?
There are 949 facilities like ours in Ohio, and only 5 have that accreditation. So we're proud to be the first facility in Lake County to achieve that higher standard of quality and patient safety.
So let me ask, Madam Clerk, is this the first we're hearing of this accreditation? I believe it is. I just want to make sure that I haven't.
It's in process.
Yeah, it's in process. There is something happening with this, yes. Yes.
Okay.
There'll be a certificate.
So we certainly will. We certainly will more formally acknowledge your achievement. It's obviously breaking news, so we weren't able to prepare, but we are nonetheless excited to celebrate with you, and we will formally recognize you at a later date for the accomplishment you've made on behalf of Lake County. So we thank you both. It is no small thing to be one of only 5 in the state, and we're very grateful that you put in the time and effort to serve.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Any more new business to come before the commission? Any more new business? Then in closing, I would just echo what many in the public have said, which is, as we approach Memorial Day, it's important for us to remember the reason for the season. There are so many who've made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can participate as full citizens with the right to vote, an elected government, a society with free speech, disagreement, and debate. We are the minority in the world today, ladies and gentlemen, and it's because so many gave their lives to allow us to live ours. And Monday is the one day each year that's formally set aside, but it's a consideration we should remember every day of the year, because every day is a gift from God and from those He shared with us who gave their lives for their friends. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
Commissioner Regovich?
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik?
Yes, we stand adjourned.